Hello and welcome back to Pin My Podfic. This is a reading of Chapter 5 of Zutopia, A Visit to the Park by Itslivybear. And the chapter summary is, Izuku accidentally naps and makes another friend, and uses his lesson to get what he wants. Also, note before I start this, in the actual fic, there are a couple links that the author put in that are links to the actual studies, because yay, science. So yeah, now let's actually get on to the fic. Izuku woke up one morning to an email from Nedzu. Dear Izuku, I'm rather busy with some nonsense from the commission. So, for your lesson today, read the following articles and case studies, watching any attached videos. I should be free around our old playtime if you would like to play Terraforming Mars. Smiley smiley face emoticon. Nedzu. Signing his email with a smile was certainly unconventional, but it did seem in line with Nedzu's personality, so Izuku just smiled back to himself and went on to click the first link. So that's what he was going to learn about today. This should be interesting. He took a lot of notes and was a little bit daunted by the small text on the last link. So since it was past lunchtime anyway, he figured he'd take a break, eat something, maybe play outside to stretch his legs and get some sunshine. Plus, his mom was still out. I love you, Zuko. Make sure you eat and don't spend all day on your computer. And he was hungry, so best to relax for a bit. He only had one more article, a scholarly one at that, and he felt like he had a pretty good grasp on the 3 techniques of compliance. He got to learn so many cool things with Nedzu. All the psychology and neuroscience things were so interesting, way cooler than the regular math and English and literature he usually did in school. He made himself a simple sandwich, not wanting to bother with cooking quite yet, and sat by a window to eat it, opening it and letting the fresh air wash over him. When he was done eating, he sat in front of the window for a bit more, just breathing in the air, until he was suddenly overtook by a feeling of not enough and a desire to do more. That sent him running for the door, pulling on his red shoes before locking it behind him, slipping the key back in its hiding spot taped to the side of the door, the side away from the stairs. He bounded down the stairs, gleefully running to the park across the street with a giggle. No one else was there at this time. Regular school was still in session for quite a while by his estimates. So he definitely had the park all to himself from other children. Except the really young ones who didn't go to school yet. Any of his neighbors had already been told by a gushing Ingo that he was getting homeschooled, so no one questioned why he was out and not in school, simply sending him smiles and going back to their jogging, mending kids, reading, or whatever else it was they were doing in the park on this genuinely beautiful day. It was his favorite type of weather, he thought, as he ran around, climbing trees and sliding down the slide with the warm glow of the sun and a gentle breeze. It was the perfect temperature for being outside, and Izuku was loving it. After who knows how long, he flopped onto the grass to watch the puffy white clouds drift by. He was so relaxed, he didn't even notice he slipped into an easy sleep. It really was the perfect day. He woke up with a start, body instantly rigid and heart pounding for reasons unknown. What had woke him up in such a state? He didn't remember any dreams. Deku! He thought to the pop of explosions. That was why. He scrambled to his feet as the blonde approached, with a blonde-haired girl chasing after him, looking a little mad, but Kachan ignored her completely. School must have let out while he was napping. He had really wanted to avoid Kachan if at all possible. Shitty Deku, where the fuck have you been? He winced at the swear words coming out of an 8-year-old's mouth. In general, or? Kachan stopped a few feet from him, popping off explosions threateningly. That hag says you're homeschooled now. Some private tutor or some shit, but we both know that's bullshit. No way someone as useless like you caught the eye of a private tutor. Just then, the girl caught up. Oh my god, exploding! Learn to chill! She stood straighter, and the annoyance slipped off her face as she turned to Izuku with a bright smile. Hi there, I'm a Morocco Jocko. What's your name? Kachan clicked his tongue. Fuck off, round cheeks. We're having a conversation. She rolled her eyes. Yeah, and I want to be introduced to the green kid. Now can you butt out? She turned back to Izuku, smiling expectantly. He opened his mouth to reply, but Kachan sneered. Didn't you hear me? He's Deku. He's quirkless. He wilted, looking away from the girl. Oh, neat. Don't see many of those. Nice to meet you, Deku. Izuku blinked, startled but saw no malice on her face, just a toothy grin. She was missing one of her 2 front teeth, he noted idly. Kachan rolled his eyes. Whatever. You've been introduced back to the important conversation. Why the fuck aren't you in school? Roundcheeks took your spot, so I know you're not coming back. He blinked at Uraraka. She had taken his spot? Oh, she must be new then. A transfer? Living in a new place can always be hard. He hoped she was adjusting well. He cleared his throat, knowing Kachan wouldn't like to be kept waiting. No, that's right. I'm being homeschooled. By fucking who? Izuku was reluctant to tell the truth. Sure, it was the truth, but it was a really cool truth at that. But the chances of him being believed were slim, and Kachan didn't like it when he thought Izuku was lying, and then he'd come home with burns and bruises. Kachan, how many times do I have to tell you? Don't fucking call me that. He blinked. Then what should I call you? Kachan stopped and scowled, thinking. Izuku pressed on. Should I call you Katsuki since we've known each other for so long? Or maybe Bakugo since you don't like me? Kachan grimaced. Do not call me Bakugo. God, it sounds weird hearing that in your whiny voice. So, Katsuki then? He grimaced more. No, that sounds wrong. Fuck. He clenched his teeth, clearly lost in thought before sighing and scowling. Fuck, fine. Just call me Kachan, you useless nerd. Izuku blinked in surprise. Are you sure? Yes, I wouldn't have said it if I wasn't. Okay then, Kachan. The blonde didn't explode like he usually did, and Izuku relaxed minutely. Wow, the girl chuckled. You really tamed the beast, huh? He wants you to call him by that cutesy nickname. I didn't want shit. I've just heard it for so long, anything else just sounds wrong. Shut the fuck up, round cheeks. She merely giggled and danced out of the way of his explosions, leaving Izuku staring in awe. She was so confident. If anyone had tamed the beast, it definitely wasn't Izuku. He blinked. What time was it? How long ago did school let out? Raka turned back, ducking under a swipe. Not too long, maybe 5 minutes. We came right here. Why? He blanched. Oh no, I'm going to be late. It was nice meeting you, Uraraka. She giggled. You too, Deku. Maybe we can play outside again another time. Kachan growled and yelled, but Izuku was already running. She seemed nice. He was, in fact, a little bit late, but when he told Nedzu about what had happened at the park and possibly making a friend, he was more than understanding. Redacted. I see, today's lesson is already sticking. Greenbean. What do you mean? Redacted. Did you not know? Redacted. You used the door in the face technique. Redacted. You presented him with undesirable options until he had no choice but to accept the nickname he had previously despised. Redacted. It wasn't the perfect representation, of course, but it was masterfully done. Redacted. He did end up complying, did he not? Greenbean. Oh, I guess you're right. Greenbean. Huh. Greenbean. Oh, also, I'm sorry, but I haven't read the last link yet. I took a break and ended up napping outside before Kachan found me. Redacted. Quite alright. That was merely a comparison essay with some experiments detailed within. Redacted. As long as you understand the topic, I see no reason why you would have to read it. Redacted. Besides, it is very small text. It is not very interesting besides. Greenbean. Are you sure? Redacted. Quite. Now, I must apologize for this, but I'm afraid several of your plants are about to burn up. Greenbean. No, not the asteroid. Greenbean. I will have my revenge. Redacted. I'm looking forward to it. The next week wasn't as eventful as that one day in the park. The weather was still nice, so he did spend his lunch breaks there. But he was careful not to linger too long, not wanting to get caught by Kachan or even Uraraka, no matter how nice she had seemed. He was at the store with his mother on Saturday, the day they both had off, except for scheduled gaming time, of course. So they liked to stop and shop together, getting in all the time together that they could. Their relationship had greatly improved since Izuku had started working with Nedzu a few weeks ago. She had already treated him a little like a porcelain doll, but now, with his new confidence, she was finally treating him more like just another little boy. He was capable and she knew that. Now, it had been practically shoved in her face with the actual principal of UA, the smartest mammal in the area, coming and proclaiming it. Plus, she no longer had to worry about him being bullied at school, since he was getting tutored on UA grounds. There was no way Nedzu was going to let anything happen to his student. Would probably be grounds for instant expulsion with how fond he was of the boy. Still, with weekly grocery runs were still the weekly grocery runs were something they both looked forward to. A nice way to conclude an otherwise busy week of work and school. She hummed to herself. Maybe we should buy a watermelon. Actually, he perked up. That's probably the priming talking. I noticed a sign for watermelon at the front of the store, so it was recently in your mind. Did you have watermelon on the list? She blinked, checking the paper before chuckling and ruffling his hair. No, we don't, but still, even if I'm being prim, tomorrow's supposed to be really warm, perfect for a watermelon treat. What do you say, Izuku? He tilted his head, looking very serious as he considered, and his mother couldn't help but laugh quietly to herself. He came to a decision and smiled brightly at her. Okay. Oh, hey, it's Deku. His head shot up with a slight flinch, but the voice was feminine, so he was able to relax. He took in pink cheeks and brown hair before he smiled and waved shyly. Hi, Uraraka. A man and a woman came up behind the beaming girl, and the man chortled heartily. Chaco, is this your new friend? The loud, explosive one? She snorted. No way! This is Deku. I met him in the park the other day, but he is friends with Explody, I think. Inko blinked and broke into a smile herself. Izuku, is this the girl you were telling me about? Oh, she cooed, and he could feel himself getting red. He was talking so much about how cool she was, handling Katsuki the way she did. They were Rakas, was it? The woman smiled genuinely, extending a hand to shake. Oh, yes, we're the Warakas. Our daughter, Ochako, recently joined the local elementary school. Are they classmates? Oh, no. Inko shook her head. He's homeschooled. He was in the park the other day when school let out. That's how they met. I'm Midoriya Inko. It's nice to meet you. As the adult talked, Iwaraka came to him with a frown. Is your name not really Deku? She whispered. Because I noticed your mom call you Zuko. Yeah, he squeaked out. It's another reading of my name. It means useless. Kachan came up with it. He trailed off, looking away embarrassed. Her face puffed up in indignation. Now that's just mean. Sorry for calling you that earlier then. I didn't know what it meant. No, he shook his head rapidly. It's not your fault. I didn't officially introduce myself the other day, even though you're totally new to the area and just moved here. She cocked her head. Oh, how'd you guess? I didn't think it came up. Crap, she's right. She hadn't. Oh, his heart was beating rapidly in his nervousness. I just guessed. School only started recently, sure, but Kachan said you took my spot. So you were either a transfer from another class or you had just moved here. I figured that Elder is a pretty small school, and if you hadn't already heard of me or Kachan, it was probably the latter. She blinked, then smiled again. Oh yeah, that makes sense. You're pretty smart, Midori. He flushed at the nickname and she looked panicked. Oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't know what to call you. Midoriya is weird because your mom is here, and I don't want to call you Deku. Plus, I don't think we're familiar enough for me to call you Zuku, you know? He nodded in starts, still trying to comprehend that a girl and maybe his friend had given him a nickname. One that wasn't even hurtful. Plus, she giggled, you are rather green. That drew the others back into the conversation, all of them laughing. Nico put a hand to her face, smiling at him. Yes, I'm afraid Izuku got my coloration in all that respects. But he did get his father's curls, so I don't have quite a carbon copy. Raka's mom laughed. You do look remarkably similar. No one will doubt he's your son, Inko. The short woman hemmed and hawed for a moment before her face brightened. Oh, you folks just moved in, right? Why don't you come over for dinner tomorrow? I would love to get to know you, impart my wisdom of the area. Plus, Izuku would no doubt love to have Ochako over. Isn't that right, son? He blinked, glancing at the girl, then he beamed. Yeah, if you want to. Uraka bounded back to her parents with wide eyes. Please, Exploding Problem isn't going to invite me over anytime soon, and I have no other friends yet. They quickly agreed, chuckling all around, before Ingo gave them the address and the time they all peeled off to do their own shopping. Zuko, his mom said as they approached the produce section, let's pick up 2 watermelons. He sighed good-naturedly and put 2 watermelons in the cart. Drawn in by the primming, Mom. She just laughed. He couldn't help but giggle too. And that's it for chapter 5. Chapter 5, A Visit to the Park, from the fic called Zutopia by Itslivybear. I was laughing so much internally when Izuku said, actually, it's the actually joke of that. my friends and my sister say that I do that. Like, I say actually all the time because I know so much because I search up too much stuff. So I just sound like the meme because I often have a clogged nose. This clogged nose. Like right now, I can barely breathe since I can't sniff. I can't sniff during the recording, or else I gotta re-record. But good thing is that in most of my fics, these are like first takes and all that stuff, so they're not really scripted or anything. And God, I was planning to record a bit in the morning, but I wasn't able to since I had a piano recital this morning at like 11 a.m. in the seriously, why do people put it in at that time? Gosh, I really hated that, since it was early in the well, not early, but still. And yeah, I I hope you guys enjoyed this, and also the author's notes is that it says that they just had a realization that the All Might versus AFO fight is is happening during the year in which this story takes place. So they and their girlfriend have made a plan. So we'll see in the next chapter. Well, I already know. and they and yeah. See you guys in the next one, and check out the original author in the description with their account and the actual fic. And I hope you guys have had a good time listening to this or whatever. Please leave constructive criticism. I will not tolerate hate or anything, but this is my community right now is probably so small. There's probably not a lot of hate or something. But please leave constructive criticism. Please. I want that. I want that actually.